In this game, players are going to be playing as leaders of the Israelites as they are working to rebuild Jerusalem. Each player is going to have their own personal player board where they're going to be inserting some variable tiles and using those tiles as worker placement locations as well as locations for resource generation. The players are each going to have a hand of cards that they're going to be managing, and on their turn, they're going to be playing these cards onto their own personal player board. Each of these cards is going to have a bunch of different opportunities on it, but the main thing that you're looking at here is the different colored banners in the top left corner. Each of these are going to be associated with one of the three types of actions, and in order to perform certain actions of that type, you're going to need a certain amount of ribbons of that color. Whenever you play these onto your board, you're actually going to be adding the total number of that color together in order to contribute towards that action, which means that if you want to perform a blue action, it's good to have as many blue banners on your board as possible, but of course that will limit the possible actions since you'll only have one specific color. I really like this mechanism because it means that you're going to have to actively plan for the actions that you want to perform because you only have 3 card locations on your board, so you're going to have to remove and replace these cards anytime that you play a new card. And these different actions that players can perform are to clear rubble and rebuild the walls and gates of Jerusalem, which will gain you victory points and resources. Or players can also gain special abilities by paying the cost and assigning a worker to this grid of tiles out on the board. And an interesting thing about this is that once you have one of your workers out on this board, you do have to connect your workers together when you do buy another ability. If you don't make a direct connection, you can actually connect through the other players as well, but you do have to pay them in order to do so. There's also actions players can perform to trade food and workers for other resources, but then you can also place those resources with another action on the various altars and temples, which will also give you different victory points and rewards for just placing that resource on that altar or temple, with some of these different locations offering you other opportunities like completing rows and columns for even more benefits, or moving up various tracks. Certain icons can also move your tent around this loop or different tokens up various tracks, gaining you rewards depending on where you move to. At the end of your round, you're going to be choosing one of the cards on your board to put into permanent effect into a tableau to the right of your board to build up your engine and make you more powerful as the game goes on. The game continues like this, and the player with the most victory points at the end of the 6 rounds wins the game. And if you're interested in this one, you can check it out. I'll have the links to the campaign in the description below.